believe that I got all dolled up in my heart shirt and my red lipstick and everything a couple days ago to film this video, and then I forgot that this was the video that I intended to film in that outfit. So now it is Valentine's Day and I have to film this on my lunch break really quickly so that I can edit and post it this evening so that it's not totally irrelevant. Because I wish that I couldn't, but here we are. Happy Valentine's Day. I hope that it is going really well for all of you. Today we're going to be looking at a Valentine's Day collection that I pulled together. The inspiration behind this collection is my own experience in high school. Now, for context, I was not very lucky in love in high school. That didn't bother me generally. I was not, relationships were not a priority for me. But right around Valentine's Day, with the grand displays of a middle-class high school in the late aughts, early 2010s, it got me feeling a little bit jealous. So I've kind of split my collection into those two experiences that I think people had during that time, and I would guess that people still feel around now. I mean, I'm kind of past the point of really caring much about Valentine's Day beyond liking red and pink and hearts, but I don't know. Let me know what you feel. But anyway, I split this collection into two pieces. One is the really sweet, lovely side of Valentine's Day, which I've been calling I Love Love. The other half is darker and grungier, and we're calling this part I Hate Everything. I don't know why that's so funny to me, but it really is, and even when I tried to think of a better name, I just kept coming back to that. So, let's take a look at the matching elements for each set. There are 3 components to each set. There is a trio of lip products. These would be matte liquid lipsticks in all cases. For the I Love Love side, the matte lip products are in pretty standard Valentine's Day colors. You have a pink, a pretty warm red, and then a slightly deeper blue-based red, but definitely not vampy on most people. That a matte formula made sense because you would want them to be kiss-proof, right? I mean, it's a Valentine's Day collection. If you're an I Love Love person on Valentine's Day, there is a decent probability that you're going to be kissing someone, and they probably do not want to end up with your lipstick all over them. Though, you know what? That's between you and them. And on the other side, again, I think that a matte formula makes a lot of sense because, I mean, look at these colors. I do not want to end up with a grayish teal glossy formula up here on my nose, or more likely for me, right here on my chin. But again, you do you. So I decided to really make the kinds of colors that my little, not goth, but appreciative of that aesthetic 15, 16-year-old self would have liked. So we have a really deep, vampy oxblood shade. In comparison to the one in the I Love Love part of the collection, this is deeper and has a lot more brown to it. I don't think there are too many people who this would not read as vampy on in comparison to that slightly lighter, more blue-based True Red. We also have these 2 very grayed out shades. These kinds of shades have always drawn me in. I remember that when ColourPop first released their matte liquid lipstick range in probably, when would that have been? Maybe 2016 or 2017? They had some shades that were kind of in this family, and I think everyone collectively went a little bit gaga over them, and I definitely appreciated them from afar. So as I said earlier, we have a sort of grayish deep teal, and then a pretty similar vibe of a shade, but in purple. I really like these shades. I like how the fact that they have quite a bit of gray in them stops them from being too bright. I wouldn't say that these are wearable or everyday wearable, work appropriate, whatever you want to call the kind of makeup that you can get away with wearing in most situations. But I think they are closer to that point than a more saturated, more pure version of a teal or a purple would be. So now transitioning away from the lip products, we have two blushes. I want these to be cream blushes because I find that cream blushes are a little bit easier to manipulate on a wide variety of skin tones than powder blushes can be. I don't know if that is other people's experience as well, but I find it a little bit easier to sheer out a too deep cream product than I do a too deep powder product. Interested to know if you feel the same. But in the I Love Love part of the collection, we have rather a bright, light pink. I guess bright isn't quite the right term. It's very light, it's very feminine. The word that keeps coming to mind as I look at this is flouncy. And I know that that really doesn't describe a color, but at the same time, with this particular shade, I think it does. It's a very pretty pink. It has the rose embossing, which, I'm guessing would go away pretty quickly, but it's at least pretty to look at for the moment. And then we have a slightly deeper, a little bit more plummy take on blush in the I Hate Everything part of the collection. This one, in keeping with the lip products in this part of the collection, has a little bit of gray to it. This actually isn't a color of blush that I see available from a lot of lines, but I think it could be interesting on a lot of people. I could see this providing a really striking, dramatic look on someone with my skin tone, but I could also see this providing just a little bit of an interesting, different take on a plum flush for someone with deeper skin tones. I think there is quite a bit of range there as far as the groups of people that this could work for. I think that in this more grayish plum color, the rose has a totally different vibe than it does in the pink. To me, this looks much grungier and moodier than the pink blush, which, again, flouncy. So I feel like these elements really hit the right note for me in that they are similar in a lot of ways. I mean, the component is basically the same, just one is white, one is black. You have the rose in each. They're both cream blushes, but they give very different feelings. And then the last element of each of the collections is a 12-pan eyeshadow palette. On the I Love Love side, we have a pretty standard Valentine's Day color story. We have some mauve shades, we have some neutrals, and we have sort of a quad of a little bit brighter Valentine's Day shades. So a bright matte pink and a shimmery red, along with an almost black and a super glittery white. The way that I've arranged actually both of these palettes is that every quad, every pairing of two adjacent shades on the top row and their matching shades on the bottom row would form a complete look. So you have a very mauve quad, you have a cooler matched with slightly warmer neutral quad, your true neutral quad, a pink and red with some neutrals to set them off, and then this really dramatic quad on the far end. I think there is a reasonable variety of looks that you could get out of this. I mean, it is going to be a pinky mauve soft look pretty much no matter what, unless you just went ham with that red and pink. But it gives the right vibe, and I think it's something that a lot of people would get a lot of use out of. These shades are really not my preferred tones, but even I think that I could get quite a bit of use out of this. I would just probably skip over that pink 98% of the time. And I didn't mention it earlier, but the entire top row is shimmery and the entire bottom row is matte. And we're going to carry that format on in the I Hate Everything palette. And here we're really focusing on cool toned colors. So we have a quad that's quite gray purple, a quad that is like a very cool toned, kind of off feeling taste on neutrals, at least to me, and then this grayed out earth tone quad. I think that there is actually a little bit more wearability in this palette than one might assume at first glance, because these are all laid out in quads. I feel like it guides you pretty easily to relatively wearable looks. There are some slightly lighter mattes with this gray, this really grayish light pink, as well as a cool tone light brown that would allow you to really blend the more dramatic shades into your skin tone. And I really like these sort of grayish takes on blues and purples. I find that similar to the lip products, sometimes it's a little bit easier to wear a grayish purple in a more formal setting or a more professional setting than it might be to wear a really saturated bright purple. And if this palette was real, I would be very, very tempted. And there we have my little Valentine's Day collection. I would love to know what you think of it. And like I said, I hope you're having a wonderful Valentine's Day. If you aren't, I mean, we've all been in the I Hate Everything category on Valentine's Day before. And if you haven't, sorry to tell you this, but you probably had some friends in high school who didn't like you very much in the month of February. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed, and I really hope that I will see you in the next video. Bye!